Here we go. It's 12:45. Welcome back to Central Valley Talk Live on this Wednesday, the 27th of October already. Halloween is coming up. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you from our Tower District studios inside the Mike Briggs building. We thank you for joining us. Hey, we're talking about a very, very cool business here in our next segment. Joining us live in our Tower District studios today is Josh with, how do you say it? Is it Saint
Joaquin. Yeah.
It is St. Joaquin. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was a different terminology,
No,
but
no,
it's
no.
just basic. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, okay, let's start from the beginning, and I want to start with your story first, and how you opened up St. Joaquin, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So my wife and I had an idea for a wine bar for a little bit, and when the pandemic hit, right before we opened up our other bar, Quail State, it forced us to pause operations right before we were about to open. We were sitting on all this alcohol and all this wine, and we were hopeful that the loophole was retail was allowed to be open during December of last year,
right,
but bars and restaurants weren't. So we needed to move all this inventory so that we weren't just sitting on debt. So we sold our wine, and we sold out in 2 days of our first supply.
Dang.
So we had to restock everything, and we kept selling out. So for us, obviously, it was like a no-brainer. We knew that Fresno was ready for natural wine. So actually, the month that we opened up Quail State, we signed a lease to open up St. Joaquin, and we just opened up St. Joaquin in August of this year.
How's it been going?
It's been going great. I mean, a lot of people in LA and SF, New York, Portland, Seattle, all the major cities have natural wine. Fresno was the last to the game, really, in California. But, I mean, it's not really even hitting places like the Central Coast yet.
Wow.
So we're kind of pushing the game ahead a little bit here, and it's been going really well.
So, okay, talk about the benefits of natural wine.
So, yeah, natural wine benefits. Basically, it's not to say that any other commercial wine isn't natural or unnatural, but there's a lot of additives that go into wine that people don't have to disclose. Sulfites, copper sulfate, which is lethal if ingested into high of a dose. You can have egg whites, as a filtration mechanism, and some people don't know that if you're vegan, you could be having wine that's not vegan. Dyes, other kinds of coloring agents, sugars, acids, a bunch of oak chips, anything you can imagine, really. There's hundreds and hundreds of different additives that can go into wine. Natural wine is just that. It's just fermented grape juice. That's all it is. So you're tasting the truest form of what the grape is.
Interesting. And for you, and your wife, I mean, have you guys really kind of looked into this and studied this? And
I mean, I've been a part of this industry for decades now.
Okay.
You know? So I've been in the hospitality business for a long time. My wife has been in love with culinary arts and food for as long as since she was a little kid. So the research, we haven't done formal research. I haven't gone to Harvard or anything like that. But
work experience is
right? Exactly.
I always say work experience outweighs any university.
Oh, absolutely. But we do work with incredible winemakers. So for us, all the authority that we get comes directly from the winemakers, not some distributor that we've never met before, not a middleman, but we go directly to the source. We meet with winemakers, and we learn their story, learn their family story, and then they share with us their winemaking process.
So do you have any favorite red or whites or maybe best sellers?
Oh, yeah. Right now, we're selling a lot of wine from Brock Cellars. They're based out of Berkeley, California, and a lot of their grapes come from all over the state of California. So we're selling a lot of their red wine right now. There's a beautiful sparkling wine from Alsace, and that's been selling really well. And then our white wine that's selling the best right now, it'd be from Martha Stoneman. She's out in Sebastopol in Northern California, and it's a Sauvignon Blanc blend. It's beautiful. But the most popular wine that we're selling right now is orange wine, and that's out of Umbria, Italy. It's called Bianco Fangoli, and it's a skin contact white wine. So the same way that red wine gets its color from the grape skins,
Right.
Orange wine gets its color from the skins of white wine. So it presses the juice out, the skins stay on, and it turns this beautiful orange color. Adds a little bit more acidity, a little bit more structure.
Is it sweet?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
It can range from very, very dry to mildly dry. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Talk a little bit about your location in the Pacific Southwest building, which is,
Yeah.
if people don't know where that is, it's downtown Fresno, the tallest building.
Yeah.
But I think they always say it's the tallest building between LA and San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's still true.
I
Because
believe it's still true.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So are they not counting Sacramento?
Well, I mean, I guess they're not counting Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that would be the case, right?
Yeah. But still, it's a beautiful building. Oh, wait, it's right behind you.
Yep, there we go.
Take the one shot. Yep,
There
it
we
is.
go.
Right to your
Over on my left shoulder.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us more.
So Quail State, yeah, it's a rooftop bar and restaurant. It's located at 1060 Fulton, and we serve craft cocktails made with seasonal, locally sourced ingredients. And we serve an array of bar bites and tasty dishes for our guests. By no means are we a fully fledged restaurant, but we do provide food for our guests.
So yeah, it's like a super chill hangout spot, right?
Yeah, really great. We pride ourselves on our customer service and our incredible cocktails and our delicious food prepared by Chef Matthew Lee. So good place to hang out with your friends.
Who's Matthew Lee?
So Matthew Lee is our executive chef, formerly of Bottega in Napa Valley and Tastecraft Eatery in San Luis Obispo.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
awesome.
And he's been with us since day one, so December of last year. Yeah.
You know, I always say for people say that stay in North Fresno or or stay in Clovis. Take the trip downtown because downtown Fresno is changing and changing in a good way.
Yeah.
We had the taco truck throwdown this past weekend, and it was I wasn't able to make it, but I saw the pictures and some of the video, and it was packed down there. Art hop is happening, and downtown is a cool place to be. And I think you guys is just one of the ways that that is making downtown cool.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think for the people that don't necessarily make the trip to downtown, they maybe listen to too much talk radio from some of the other more conservative people. It's changed. It's completely changed. It's not changing. It's done changed. It's
right.
Its crime has consistently dropped year over year. I believe in the last 3 years, I checked the crime stats. I think it was like dropped by 80%.
Wow, I didn't know
Of violent crime or any kind of crime along the main drag of Fulton. So that corridor is incredibly safe, In fact, most of downtown crime is located in other areas, Downtown Fresno's safe. Like, our customers don't get assaulted or accosted.
Right.
There's security that patrols all of downtown Fresno, and we actually have a security person that works our front door as well. So there's nothing to be afraid of in downtown. We actually really, really love our downtown community and the people that live there and work there.
And if and we're looking at some pictures. I don't know if you can see.
Oh,
those,
yeah, I can, yeah.
Now, where's that?
So that is on our rooftop, but those are some cocktails that our bartenders made as a competition amongst each other.
Oh, cool.
One of them is like a riff on a Bloody Mary, and the other one is a basically an MSG inspired cocktail. So I threw down a cocktail challenge for our bar team to dismantle the myth that MSG gives you headaches. That was an old adage used to spur like Asian hatred for a long time. And so allowing our bartenders to take back MSG and educate customers was the whole point behind that competition. And those were two of the submissions.
I love it. Oh, that's so cool. And then also the food items, that pairs very well with any of the cocktails.
With any of the cocktails, and our wine and our beer selections are all incredible. Yeah.
And I would like to point out too, the Pacific Southwest building, so many people haven't ventured inside. It is gorgeous. I mean, it's Art Deco.
Yeah. I mean, it's height of the late 1910s, early 1920s.
Yep. So, and we're looking at your Instagram here as well.
There we go.
What's talk a little bit about the future.
So we have St. Joaquin. We just signed a lease with Reza, and we will be putting in a new bar called Isla-Wolf in his Sun Stereo warehouse across from Tioga Sequoia, and that will be Spanish-style tapas. It'll be a bar and restaurant, but mostly food-focused.
Awesome.
And I've got a few other things in the works, but we can't talk about those things at the moment.
You'll come back when the
yes.
announcement can be made.
Yes, exactly.
People can learn more. What you guys have a website?
Visit us on quailstatefresno.com, stjoaquin.com. You can check us out on Instagram at quailstatefresno, at St. Joaquin. And yeah, we're available Instagram, and you can reach us by phone. For Quail State, it's 559-999-7727.
You know, I always say here at Central Valley Talk, we like to promote what's great about Fresno, and you guys are just one of those ways. Making your business is making Fresno.
Thank you. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Josh, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
All right. I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're celebrating what's good about Fresno and the entire Central Valley, always and forever. We'll be right back. Here we go at 1:12. Welcome back to Central Valley Talk Live. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you from our Tower District studios inside the Mike Briggs building. Happy Wednesday, the 27th of October. So we've just got a couple days left until Halloween. Can't believe that. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. Hey, my next guest joining us live from St. Paul, Minnesota is my good pal, Frank Morganti III. Hey, Frank, welcome to Central Valley Talk. Welcome back. Your second time on now.
Well, thank you for having me back on, Austin. Good afternoon to you out there in Fresno from the Twin Cities.
Yeah, from the Twin Cities where it's, about 50 degrees there?
50 degrees, a little overcast, and we're probably going to get some rain later this afternoon. It's just kind of a nice, dreary, gray day. Good fall day. Good Minnesota fall weather.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, temperatures here right around 66 right now. Partly sunny skies. So, okay, you have some big announcements, and I'm just going to let you take it away.
Yeah, well, you and I, we've been friends before we were on Facebook, but yesterday I made an announcement on Facebook that I have a new job within the menswear industry. So for the past just shy of 6 years, I've worked for Joseph's Bank Clothiers here in the Twin Cities. We had a location in downtown Minneapolis at one time where I started, and then I transferred to the Edina location. And yesterday I gave my 2 weeks notice because I will be starting with a local business over on the St. Paul side in the Twin Cities called Milburn Clothiers. They've been around since 1946. And this was it was a long-term goal to get on with a local store in the menswear industry. And it's nice to achieve that goal. Now I got to find something new to achieve.
Well, and you are so passionate about men in business looking good.
Yeah, men dressing well, feeling well. And that is my passion. I've worked in the broadcasting industry with you as well. And that's kind of a nice way to mix it where you can get your word out there.
Right.
And what's really nice, and we had chatted a little about this before the interview, about looking back, and you don't realize things until you're able to have the time to look back on it. And looking back on the last 6 years working at a corporate style store, what's going to be nice about working at a local store, and this is going to be nice with local businesses in general in any community, a way that you can do things that you couldn't necessarily do in a corporate store. In other words, not saying that big corporations don't give back. There are many good corporations that do give back, but they're not as local as a mom and pop store. And that's what this is. The gentleman who runs it, his grandfather got it started back in 1946. And in the past, they have given back to the community. And it feels good to work with a store with people who are going to do that. And they have done that. One situation, this was in a newspaper article written about them a couple of years ago. They were celebrating a milestone anniversary. They have mentioned at one time a homeless man came to the store and he said, I have a job interview, but I don't have a suit. And Mr. Steve Bernick, the current owner of Milburn, he said, let's get you the suit for this interview. Pay me when you get the job. And a few weeks later, that man came back and said, thank you. I got the job and I have a check for the purchase of the suit.
Really?
Yeah. And usually in a big corporate store, they're probably not going to be as generous, because they have everybody has a bottom line, but sometimes the bottom line is community, not money.
Well, yeah, and with corporations, you have to get the approval. It's a whole process. When
that you hit the nail right on the head, bureaucracy.
Yeah.
In a local store like that, Mr. Milburn probably took that at that suit at the time. He owns the merchandise. He bought the merchandise. He owns it until he sells it. In a corporate store, the company owns it, and then they own it until they sell it. So you hit the nail right on the head with all the red tape and bureaucracy. Bureaucracy can be a blessing and a curse.
So tell me a little bit about the other things that you're looking forward to in this new aspect of your life.
In the new aspect, it's really nice because working at a corporate store like Joseph's Bank, we were a house brand. So in other words, much like Brooks Brothers, the product that you sell, it's a good product, but it's just the product that was made by your company's factory, and all the labels are the same. A store like Milburn is what you would call a house of brands. In other words, they would go to what's called market in like New York or Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, and they work with different vendors, different designers. And so they work with different product lines, and some product lines stay with a store for years on end. Some products go out of business, and therefore it's not carried at the store anymore. I'm really looking forward to the diversity in the product line. And what I have been doing in the last 6 years, I will be carrying on. My goal is to help other people look good while reaching their goals in life. And I've always been interested in the menswear industry, as I've said before, in terms of the history of it, where the product comes from, where it's made, et cetera, et cetera. But once I had my foot in the door 6 years ago, whether it's any kind of job that you go into, you see it from a different lens. And one of those lenses that I got to see was working as a salesman or a haberdasher, whatever you'd like to call it. I got to see the receiving end of somebody getting a new shirt or a new suit or a new pair of shoes. And they came back later because they remembered the good service they got, and they said, yes, I did get that promotion, or yes, I did get that job, or yes, she did say yes to getting married, that type of thing. So it's a very good feeling to help people look their best in a way of giving back when you're able to.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some trending styles as we are now, ending 2021, 2022 is coming up. I went shopping the other day, just a couple days ago, and I got this vest for $40. Not too bad. And then I got this tie for $10. I got 4 ties, 10 each, and then I got this shirt. This was $12. And I am gonna show off my shoes because I love these. Check. Oh yeah, I got it.
Now, Austin, just as long as you keep your trousers on, we don't need to see the boxes between.
I'm actually wearing shorts underneath. No, I'm just kidding. But talk. What I'm wearing, I feel like is kind of in style. What do you think?
It is. So here's what you want to remember. Number one, we've come off of a really wacky year and a half. I mean, 2020 has been over now for almost 11 months now. We're going into November next week. It's hard to believe that. And you always want to look the best you can within your means. And you always want to buy the best quality that you can afford. And where I'm going with that is, this is where you want to take the time to save the time. Whenever I work with customers, I say that too. I say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the time to save the time. In other words, measuring, that kind of thing. But in the case of somebody before they go buy, do your homework, do your research. In other words, find out what you can afford, what you would like, and seeing what is trending. But you have to remember, you want to dress to one's proportion in your body. So in other words, not everybody's going to look in the skin tight, skinny stuff that you're seeing in GQ and Esquire right now. And on the same token, not everybody's going to look good in a traditional boxy cut item either. And so this is where, when you go to get fitted for a suit, no matter whether you're spending $250 or $1,500, you want to make sure it's very well tailored, because good tailoring is going to come in handy. You can make that, $500 suit look like a $5,000 suit.
Interesting.
But I will say this, save up, no matter what your income is, save up and get good quality shoes. And the reason I say that is down the road, the cost per wear goes down. And a good quality shoe is what is called welted. It's kind of like something being sewn together. So in time, you can send it back to the factory from where it was made or to a local shoe cobbler. They can unwelt the shoe, put new cork fiber in, put a new sole and heel on it, clean up the top, and it's like you have a new pair of shoes. So for a small investment, it comes in, it makes this pair of shoes last a very long time.
And then as far as what I have been seeing a lot of men wearing like top hats. Those seem to be coming back.
Oh, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Top hats?
Top hats?
Yeah.
Top hat. Oh, you mean like hats in general?
Oh, yeah, just hats in general. But not
hats
ones.
in general. Top hat. Yeah, no, but I mean, that sometimes has to do with TV shows or movies. I know the TV series The Blacklist has been pretty popular, and James Spader's character wears a fedora. And that's another thing you want to be careful with hats too, much like clothing. Again, you want to do the research. In that case, you want to take your facial structure and your head size into accommodation, because you don't want something that's too small, and you don't want something that's falling over your eyes either.
Yeah, exactly.
And once upon a time, the hat was a serious piece of accessories for men. I know when President Truman heard that at the time, Vice President Truman heard that Franklin Delano Roosevelt had passed away. He was across Washington, D.C. at a meeting, and they said, "We have to get you over to the White House for the oath of office." He said, "Well, before we do that, I got to stop and get my hat."
Really? Oh, interesting. Wow. I love
But that was in the late 40s, mid to late 40s. So that was a time where you weren't seen in public without a hat.
Right. Exactly. Times have changed. But and then also, it seems like shiny ties are in.
I'm sorry, trying times?
Shiny ties, like
shiny tie. There's different types of finishes. So like a shiny tie has more of a like a satin finish.
Yeah.
And then there are ties that have more of a jacquard or woven finish. So they're made from the same material, but that is more of a personal preference thing. Sometimes shiny ties are more for a party setting, where smoother finish ties are more for a conservative occasion like work, weddings, funerals, job interviews, that type of thing.
Right.
And it's kind of hit and miss too on some of those things. When in doubt, keep it simple. That's the best advice I can give right now.
Okay.
And now that things are kind of opening up more and more people are kind of going out. Don't be afraid to step it up a little bit. You could do a sport coat without a tie. And if you don't do a tie, whether you do a tie or not, I always recommend, see if you can see here, a nice pocket square.
Yes. Pocket squares are very important.
Yeah, and very much like ties, they come in good materials such as silk, cotton, linen, wool, and sometimes like a silk wool blend. And I really like the silk wool blend because they hold better. Sometimes the silk can get too slippery, and it stay put. But it's one of those things, you experiment with it, you play with it. And also, when wearing a pocket square, there's two things to keep in mind. The size of a pocket square, how big or small it was cut, and the size of the coat pocket. Both of those things are dramatically different. You have some manufacturers that make small breast pockets and large breast pockets, and you have some manufacturers that make small pocket squares and large pocket squares. So it's something that you kind of want to play with, because it's Goldilocks. You don't want it to fall into the pocket, but you don't want it to pop out either.
Yeah, exactly.
You want it just right.
I have a friend here in Fresno. I call him the best dressed man in Fresno. His name is Leo Kim, and he owns the United Conservatory of Music. And he is he's just always looking, like $1,000,000. But one thing I noticed is he always wears his jacket. He's generally got a vest, but he wears so if I was to kind of stand up and show I think right here, I know that's not a fantastic viewpoint, but I'm trying to set the story. It's like a chain.
Oh, a chain, like on his trouser?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that. So in the olden days, the chain on the vest would have been for a pocket watch.
Okay.
And then the chain on the trouser, what I've seen, that's either for a pocket watch or like a package of keys, like you have a little pouch for your keys. And having not seen a picture, but I have a pair of trousers that has a small little slip pocket in the front, and you can put a pocket watch in there. And so what you could do is have the chain made and have like a little clasp or a slide and slide that onto the waistband. And I've seen pictures of that. And usually in the olden days when I'd seen chains on the pants, most of the time it was for like the keychain.
Right.
And the other time, sometimes it would be for a pocket watch. But back then, most men wore the pocket watch on the vest for obvious reasons, because it was easier to look at the watch. But if they weren't wearing a vest, they could wear the pocket watch on the waist of their trouser and unbutton the coat and have a look at it there and see what time it is, and then put the watch back into the pant waist. So his chain is either a chain, I'm guessing, for a watch or a set of keys.
So people can find you at your new location. Central Valley Talk, of course, is broadcast all over the world. So if we have any viewers in the St. Paul or Twin Cities area watching today or on our replay, they can visit you for more advice. You're going to be starting there what day?
I'll be starting Monday, November 15th of this year. So in about a little over 2 weeks.
And where is Haberdasher?
So Millburn is in the Midway neighborhood of St. Paul. So it's near the intersection of Snelling Avenue and University Avenue, near the Allianz Field soccer stadium. So it's in an old neighborhood, but an old neighborhood that's been revitalized over the years.
Very good, very good. Well, hey, Frank, good luck at the new job, and people can connect with you on Facebook. Just they can look up Frank Morganti III if they have any maybe any other questions about menswear. So
yeah, we'd be happy to help you and help you look your best. And the store has wonderful options. They have ready to wear as well as made to measure.
I love it. I love it. Frank, thank you so much. We'll see you next time,
always
okay?
Great to see you.
Great to see you, my friend. I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We'll be back in the 2 o'clock hour. Just after 2 o'clock on this Wednesday midweek, welcome to Central Valley Talk Live. I'm Austin Reed. Thanks for joining us. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. We've got a number of guests in store for you this hour. Our first one here at the top of the hour is Jackie Kennedy Harris. She is the founder of JKH Career Coaching and Consulting, serving the Central Valley. Jackie, welcome. Your first time on Central Valley Talk.
It is. Thank you so much. I appreciate spending part of the afternoon with you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes,
We're happy that you're here. I found you on Instagram.
Oh, awesome.
And I was, looking at your profile and reading all about the services that you offer. So we're going to get into all of that, but I want to begin with kind of your experience in coaching and helping people.
Awesome. Yes. So my experience, it turned out to be a need, meaning that I found myself being around a lot of students, primarily, who were really struggling with being able to have that professional experience and be able to portray that upon graduation and landing a job. So with the virtual environment that we're in, that kind of created an opportunity, because a lot of the services that would have been provided on campuses were now going to online, which limited the resources for students. And so in just my past experience that I had working in my other position before I went into business for myself as a recruiter, a lot of the little small things, but yet very important things were missing. Again, how to be professional and just how to get past that interview initially, both virtually and in person. And with that, that led to really digging deeper into pursuing this as as a career, second career, if you will, for myself. Definitely because of the need. Also being a first college graduate and parents of immigrant, a daughter of an immigrant parent, I had to definitely be able to find the resources, which at that time it was very difficult. And my goal today is to make it easier for the students that are graduating now and helping them land that career that they're seeking.
It's such a fascinating time that we're living right now in business, right? So many businesses are hiring right now. So many people are deciding to change careers right now. So I would imagine this is a very exciting time for you to really work with individuals and in any stage of life that they're in.
Absolutely. Yes, it's really interesting because when you think of a personal trainer, that person's training you for a certain reason to kind of mold you into whatever it is that goal is. It's the same concept with the career coach. That career coach is your advisor. They're going to be there and guide you. And because it's not one size fits all at all, you have to be able to tailor every single career path in terms of just goals and things of that nature to everyone individually. And I think it's very unique, when I deal with clients, building that rapport initially is the key thing, and being able to have them be very open into what they're trying to achieve, for you to be able to even develop your assessments to target them and help them out in what their ultimate goal is going to be. So I find it very interesting because even those clients that I have they have jobs and they've moved on, they still contact me. I'm almost like a mentor. So I've developed this an additional section by default as a mentor-mentee program, which has led me to be able to partner with other organizations and just implementing some things within that environment.
Do some of your duties include looking at their resume, looking at maybe how are they dressing, looking at how they're interacting with people? Is that maybe just a start point of what you do?
Yes, absolutely. When I have a client, the first thing I do is onboard. So onboarding is just being able to build that rapport with them, just kind of find out, what some of their goals are, fact finding, if you will. Then from there, there's an assessment module that's implemented to kind of narrow down and identify some of the things that we need to look at in terms of evaluations and being able to create some training around that. I call this career tutoring because students can relate to tutors, right? So once we get that in place, we go through a module of different training sessions with that particular candidate, or not candidate, but actually with the kind of candidate to me, because I do help them get a job later on, but that it does really give us a chance to really target in on what they need to meet their goals. And so with that, we focus on different things. Professionalism, absolutely. That's the one thing that we do look at. That's one thing that we need to make sure that they can even have that in place before they can even interview. And in addition to that, we have a component part that is more of the networking side. So it's kind of a cycle that you go through. And at the very end of going through these different sessions, you actually leave with your own personal action plan. So you kind of have an idea where you're going and what to do, which does include your updated resume, which does include a cover letter, and as well as being able to effectively interview both in person and virtual, and that's done on a regular basis with myself. So it's a very, very personal one-on-one attention cycle that we do put our candidates, our applicants. I keep saying candidate applicants because they do get placed in their jobs later. But yeah, that's something that definitely we've done successfully.
This is a picture you sent in. Walk us through this.
Yes, so this is the students from Fresno State. It's the Hispanic Business Student Association, and they've been a big part of my entire career from the very beginning. And a lot of what we do with this particular group is mock interviews, a lot of virtual interviews, which I do have a workshop in the next week actually with this particular group on virtual interviews versus in person. And this particular group will really, a lot of them are from it's a very diverse background in the sense of the majority are first generation college graduates. So that's one of the reasons why I can connect to being able to really fit into bigger picture is being able to really target my experience with those that we have the same thing that's in common. So these students are very, very, I get them in when they've just joined Fresno State, and by the time they get ready to graduate, they are definitely fine-tuned, and you can see the development, and I feel very excited that I've been able to really maintain the long-term relationship for sure with Fresno State and the Hispanic Business Student Association.
Do you have any favorite testimonies from your clients?
Yes, I do. I had one client that was actually wanted to go to law school, and some of the things that he definitely struggled with, he was a little bit more introverted, and so we went back and forth with how can we get him out of his shell? What can we do to really get him in front of that employer, or get him in front of the organization that was wanting to pursue his career with. And so it took us a little bit longer to kind of get Aaron in that zone where he felt comfortable. But ultimately, we went back and forth, and we applied some more tools, and I actually did a couple more extra sessions with him that really it actually increased his motivation is what was needed. He felt real confident that he could really do this. And he did end up landing a position with a law firm, and I think is almost done with getting his bar, passing the bar exam. So those are stories to me that the passion has to be there. I love to see the end results when I can help someone, and I see the bigger picture, meaning that they've been successful, they're in their career. And again, there are many in Fresno that are in great positions right now that will say, I remember Jackie, when I was the student going to Fresno State. So I'm very involved on campus. I call that my home away from home.
Right.
And also Fresno Pacific University. That's my other area where I'm very visible on campus there.
So what advice would you give to any college student, say, for instance, that's watching today, and they're like, I feel that I'm set. I feel that I'm ready. But there's like a subconscious feeling that, maybe I do need help. Would you suggest them to give you a call?
Absolutely. If you find yourself as a student not sure where to go, you're interviewing, you're taking all the notes that you need, you're visiting the career fairs, whether it be virtual or in person, and you can't seem to get past that initial contact, then you definitely need to seek out maybe someone that can kind of sit down with you and pull out some of those things that may be a weakness and find a way that could be turned into a strength. A lot of times with students, and like myself, I relied on just a lot of other folks to help me out. And academically, oh yes, they were there. They were great. They helped me with what I needed. But when it came time to really help me with my mistakes, I'm not getting this job, I'm not past the first interview, I didn't have that resource. And so my passion has always been to really focus more on the ones that are struggling. It shouldn't be that easy. If it's easy, you don't need my help. But if you are struggling in getting that position you want, maybe it's because you just haven't had that one-on-one personal attention. Maybe you haven't had someone that can be there for you at any given time. And when I say that, I mean basically, my clients, I do have some now where they'll call me 9 o'clock at night. Jack, I need to talk to you about this. And it's my job to be there for them. That's what it's for.
You're like an agent.
Absolutely, yes. And so when that happens, when you find yourself in that situation, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out. Matter of fact, I think I even offer on my website a 30-minute consultant free 30-minute consultation just to see, yes, if this is something that you think may be good. I like to give everything up front.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I want that student to have it a lot easier than I did when I graduated.
And we're looking at your website, jkhccc.com. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, very good. And then what's your phone number?
Phone number is area code 559-307-7712. And I'm also on Instagram. You can follow me, LinkedIn, Twitter.
You'll have to come back and maybe bring one of your clients.
I would love to do that.
That'd be a cool interview.
Oh,
and
yes.
Then we can walk. You can walk us through. They can walk us through how it went with you.
Absolutely, I would love to do
That'd
that.
be very good.
Yes.
Jackie, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Austin. Appreciate it.
I'll see you next time.
Great, we'll see you next time.
All right, check her out,
you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Here in
guys.
Fresno.
Thank you.
I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're back with another guest coming up shortly, so stay with us. Cemetery today. You know, Halloween coming right up. And earlier we talked to the creator of That's Some Scary SH Beep Tea. Well, now on a more local scale, we're going to talk to the owner, Jake, of Ecto Canine 559.
Right, correct.
Now, you're also promoting an event, Ghost Golf in Fresno on Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Well, I guess the event is actually, it's called a Night in the Netherworld. Here it is. And it's at Ghost Golf in
At
Fresno.
Ghost Golf.
Before we talk to you, I want to play this video that we just captured a few minutes ago. Check this out. Oh, we're on. Okay, here we are. I was humming the Ghostbusters song in my head. By Ray Parker Jr., going back to the 80s. All right, so welcome. Now, you came on, not you specifically on the air, but you joined us here on the show maybe a month or so ago with Germ and Amanda with... what's their company called?
We are Raven Mortem Hearst Club. We're
That's
Hearst
right.
Club.
Okay. And but you specifically have this Ghostbusters club.
I have the Ghostbusters car, right.
Yeah, and you've got the car there. So we're going to get to the event that's happening Saturday, 6 to 10 p.m. Ghost Golf, a night in the Netherworld. It's at Ghost Golf in Fresno. But I want to talk to you. By the way, I love your shoes.
Thanks.
We can't see them, but they've
Custom.
got, are those pumpkins?
They're all Halloween, yeah?
Yep, all Halloween, some candy corn. Yeah, those look cool. So how long has Ecto Canine 559 been around?
Not that long. I bought the car in May. I wasn't specifically seeking out to do this. I knew I wanted to do something unique, and I don't know, the car was like a blank canvas, and I got inspired. I bought the car to haul around my mini Dodsons, my wiener dogs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that's where the canine comes into the
Saturns
Ecto.
work well for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got inspired one day and knew I wanted to do it, and I did it, and it's been a blast ever since.
So we're looking at the video of the cart. Walk us through this.
Okay, let's see here. I got my props there on the dash, our Ghostbusters logo.
Are you a fan of Ghostbusters?
Huge fan, yes.
Huge fan.
Right. I mean, like I said, I didn't plan on this, but I've always been a fan. As soon as I thought of it, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
It's so funny, like watching old clips of Bill Murray on Ghostbusters. He looks so young. When you think about it, that movie came out in the 80s.
It did. It was a while ago. I've been marathoning Ghostbusters.
Have you?
Yeah.
every year around Halloween, you watch Ghostbusters. So okay, now you've got this vehicle now. What else do you do with Ecto Canine 559?
Well, I wanted to do like a community outreach and stuff originally when I did it. That was how I met up with Raven Mortem Hearst Club. They were a Hearst Club. They said, come on out. And that's how I joined up with them because they had similar goals. So now I'm the division in that club.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the event on Saturday.
Beetlejuice Extravaganza. We were just Beetlejuice fans. We were doing a Beetlejuice theme for our trunk or treat this year, and we said, let's put on a party, a Beetlejuice party. Everybody got
Here's
really
the full
excited
screen
about
graphic with all the details. How many people you think are going to be showing up to this?
I don't know at the moment. We can take up to 400 people. Looking at 100 to 200 right now. Most of our sales will be at the door.
It's only $15 to get in, is that right?
It's $15 to get into the party. It's $25 for full access if you want to do the golf and everything.
Okay.
Even if you're just coming by, we're going to have our hearses and some vendors outside if you want to go support your local vendors.
And you will have the Ghostbusters vehicle as well.
Ghostbusters will be there, hearses will be there, the Mystery Machine, Fresno will be there.
What's that?
The Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine van.
okay.
I don't know if you've seen it around.
Okay. Very
We
good.
did a cruise night with him, and he's going to come out.
He's going to come out as
Yeah.
well. We're looking at some pictures of your Instagram.
From
You've been
our-
very busy this last
We've
month.
been doing a lot of trunk or treats. We've had a lot of fun.
I love it. Now, I've seen some different Ghostbusters vehicles across the country.
Yes.
Do
Across
you-
the world,
Across
actually.
the world,
Yeah.
Like the old school vehicles. Are you hoping to maybe next year get a different?
Well, I plan on doing a hearse.
You do?
A Ghostbusters hearse this next year, yeah. Just got to get through this,
Right,
this
right,
year
right.
first.
This is still new. This is
Right.
still new.
And then there's also going to be a Jeep that's going to be an Ecto in our club.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, people can learn more on Instagram. And as we look at this video, we're going to show as we close. This is, I think, at one of your events earlier this week. Is that right?
Let's see. I believe that is at Raisin Hell Ranch.
Oh, how did that go?
That was a lot of fun. We got to go out one of the first nights, and I had a blast there. That was my first hunt.
Was it really?
Cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, you could. Yeah. Oh, now there's the car lit up.
With the lights on.
That's awesome. And there's some. No, are those some of Ravens?
Those are our hearses. Yeah, that was our president's hearse there.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so people can learn more about the event Saturday on Facebook, right?
Facebook, Instagram, yeah.
Ecto Canine 559. What does that stand for? Why the name Ecto?
The original Ghostbusters car is called the Ecto 1. So every car that comes after is an Ecto.
Interesting.
And so I did Canine exclusively for my dogs.
For your dogs, yeah, exactly. I love it. Oh, that's a cool.
That was a cool car.
Wow. Well, check it out, everybody. See the hearse in person along with the Ghostbusters vehicle. A night in the Netherworld this Saturday. Ghost Golf in Fresno. That's right on Blackstone Avenue, kind of near Whitey's.
Yeah, right next door to Whitey's.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right. We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm Austin Reed. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. I am super excited for our next guest. When you see him and hear him, you most likely will know him. Give it up for Michael Sommers, a very famous actor. Michael, hello there. Welcome to the show.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me, Austin. Great to be here.
Now, you were last on Central Valley Talk with Mike Briggs
Yeah.
a few years ago, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and you were promoting a one-person band show.
A play. Yeah.
Right, that you were doing at the Rogue Festival.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So now, a lot of people will know you, though, from... Tell us some of the biggest movies for our friends that don't know your work.
Sure. Well, we were just talking with your friend there about Sorry to Bother You, which a couple years back came out and was a big indie hit. And then Sense8 from Netflix is a series I was on for 2 seasons, and then the final episode, and The Matrix 4.
Which is coming out December 22nd.
That's right.
Super,
in time for
super
Christmas.
exciting. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about how long have you been acting now for?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I knew as a kid I wanted to act, but I'm from a small town in Vermont. What are you going to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, the answer is that I got my SAG card in San Francisco in 1994.
Okay.
That's a long time ago now. I didn't know I was that old.
Almost 30 years.
Don't say that, Austin.
I know it sounds weird, but
true.
So tell me a little bit about The Matrix 4. It's so funny. I'll share this story on the air. Literally, the last week or so, I have been binge watching videos about are we in a simulation or not? And I did not schedule you as a guest. Mike Briggs did. I had no idea this was happening until moments ago. And here you are. What is your role in The Matrix 4?
My character's name is Scroce, rhymes with gross. And I play the owner of a cafe where I can't give away everything, but everything happens, and a lot of things happen in this. It's a coffee shop.
Now, when did Matrix 1 come out? I mean, it was a number of years ago now.
1999.
Wow.
Yeah. So 20 years we're talking about.
So this theory, though, about are we in a simulation or not, I feel like is trending, and that story is becoming more widely known just within the last year or two.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's meeting up with their friends or conducting business on their phone, and they're wondering, is this guy I'm talking to real, or is he a simulation? Wait, am I a simulation? Right. I don't know.
It's a trip when you think about it.
Yeah.
My wife loved playing Sims, the video game,
Right.
And I don't even know. Sims is probably still around, but it's not as big as it was.
Yeah.
So how did you
your name dropping? I'm on The Sims. Got to throw that out there. Exactly. I did a voice. I was the voice of the television on the Herbs. I'm sorry, on the Herbs.
Are you serious? Yeah. I love it. So are you a fan of weird things, whether it's a Mandela effect or a simulation or ghosts, as Halloween is coming up?
Well, yeah, I'm a fan of weird things, and especially because I get a lot of work for that's my specialty. I'm weird, and they cast me to play weird people of all sorts of types. And I'm in San Francisco based, not LA. So I've been really on the cutting edge of a lot of different technologies we've had. That's, The Sims, a lot of computer games, a lot of different things. That's been a lot of fun for me.
Now, sorry, I was just going to say, now Matrix 4, how is this, can you give any teasers as far as how is this different than the first one in 1999?
Well, for me, the Matrix 1, now there's Matrix 1, 2, 3, if you recall, and this is 4, of course. Matrix 1 was my favorite of the 3, and I would say that this harkens back in feeling to Matrix 1 the most.
Really?
And that, to me, was really exciting, because I was wondering, how are they going to deal with this? It's 20 years later. Right. What's left to tell? And the teaser that I can give is that Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss, who are the stars of Matrix 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're both in it. And they meet in my coffee shop, and they don't know each other. I'm not supposed to say much more than that.
Wow.
But
they have no clue who they are.
They have no clue. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you go.
I'm just always nervous talking about I'm not sure what I'm supposed to give away and not, but this was in the teaser and the trailer. So I feel safe. I feel safe about that.
What was it like working with Mr. Reeves?
Keanu Reeves is, first time I met him, he didn't know me from Adam, and he had a reputation for being very humble and nice. And I can tell you, it's very true. I had a chance to sit down next to him at dinner, and he wanted to hear my story, and I wanted to hear what he had to say, and I just think that's really wonderful. He's one of the hugest stars. It has not gone to this man's head.
Really, that's fascinating. I have to ask you this question. I'm a big news guy, and you're a big actor.
Huge.
And I'm not trying to bring the energy down or be sad, but working on a set with big name actors, I'm sure you heard about the situation with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah.
He accidentally shot and killed one of the cinematographers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Any thoughts on that? I mean, because I'm sorry, but that is a huge story in the
Yeah, of
acting world.
course. No, of course this is going to come up.
Yeah.
You know, I had just a lot of questions when I was like, why would he, why would the gun go off? Well, why, I guess we have a lot of questions. Was it a bullet like in Bruce Lee's son? What his name was? We were talking about this recently. Bruce Lee's son had an actual bullet that killed him. I don't think that's the case here. So how did he die? Was it a blank?
Mm-hmm.
People said that, yeah, a blank can actually kill you if it's gone wrong. I have all the same questions that everybody else does. I just do know that people, they really are safe on set, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, but I can't speak to that film. So
Right. Well, you just got to keep, you just got to be extra cautious. But I know that I've never heard of something exactly like that, and for, especially with Alec Baldwin. I mean, the guy's
he's a legend.
A-list legend. Yeah. So
yeah.
Can't imagine.
And the only thing I can think is that he was pointing the gun in the camera to be very dramatic,
right.
And it's supposed to go off that way.
Right.
Because I was like, well, why would he shoot at why was the gun pointed right at probably this woman was with the camera. But then I was like, well, wait, it's very dramatic if that gun is pointed, right into the lens. And boy, there's been a lot of talk about, should we really be allowing real guns on set? And I think we're going to be, I think there's going to be more discussion about this, and there's going to be some change, I'm sure.
Absolutely. In other news, what else are you working on? Anything else you can preview for us?
Well, the preview, unfortunately, I want to say I'm trying to bring it to the road this year, but I'm trying to bring it to the road the following year, 2023.
Okay.
The same show that I brought a couple years back, I have a sequel to that, but it's still in development. It's called 30th Street, and it's about my life on 30th Street in Oakland, California. It entails this small town Vermont boy moving into a rather notorious, somewhat drug and gun-ridden neighborhood, a little bit unlike my upbringing. And oddly enough, I came to love it in a way. And the show is about that. It's about how gentrification has affected my neighborhood.
Well, people can learn more, of course, about you at Michael X Sommers with an O. And we will see you in Matrix 4. It's out December 22nd in theaters, plus streaming on HBO Plus? Or
HBO Max.
HBO Max, yeah, that's right. There's
and
so many of them now.
Right
it's
for
like
Christmas.
you
can do HBO Max or go to the theater.
Yeah, right. Easy enough. Michael, thank you for joining us today. Great conversation.
Austin, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We get the biggest stars here. We'll be right back.